Hello everyone, my name is Omelogo Nnadi and I like to be called the children nurturer. And today we're going to talk about something that I spent 3 consecutive weeks talking about on radio. And I still found this topic quite inexhaustive, and I thought, well, I don't have this in a series. I should record it in one of the children nurturer series because this is a very vital, very, very vital piece of information, and that's this. Um, on radio, we tagged it the seemingly harmless habits that parents and caregivers and guardians have that expose their children to sex predators and sexual harassment. Means things that we do which we don't think are harmful, but which end up exposing our children to a lot of harm. And I'm going to quickly try to list so that I can get it in within the next 10 minutes, perhaps. Okay, so one, sending children on errands unaccompanied. You know, this kind of errands that you would ask a child to go and give this to auntie, go and give this to uncle, go and collect this from auntie, go and collect that from uncle, that kind of errand. Sending children to other adults or to other places where there are adults to do something for you unaccompanied. Now, that is something you shouldn't do. If you're going to send the child with an older person to do that, or go by yourself. Don't expose the children. And then talking about auntie and uncle, this and that. In here in Nigeria, in Africa, we find out that a lot of times you address people who are older than you as auntie and uncle. But they're not your aunties and uncles. Your aunties and uncles are people who are biologically related to you. So having children address adults around them as auntie this and uncle that, stop it. It creates a level of familiarity that becomes harmful, that could become harmful in long run. And so when instead of having your child address someone as auntie this or uncle that, it should be Mr., Miss, Madam, Sir. Try and train them and inculcate that into them so that there is already that bridge, that protects them from such familiarities. And then this was something I talked about in the previous episode, which is kissing children on the lips. When you kiss children on the lips, it's like it's a sign of intimacy, and then you can't tell a child, okay, kiss me, but don't kiss that person or don't kiss this person. You're not always going to be there. If you're going to make them believe that that's a way of showing fondness, someone else in your absence could also make them believe that's okay to use that as a show of love or affection. And then there's something we do, a lot of parents do this, scolding your children. Instead of scolding your children every now and again, what you should do is try to talk to your children when they do something that isn't good. You talk to them, you have conversations with them. Now, when you raise your voice at your children over little things at home repeatedly, a lot of times, what you do is you create distance between you and your children, and you make them lack the confidence in you, lack the trust. They begin to wonder, if dad scolds for little things like this, how am I going to tell him or her this big thing? It becomes more difficult for them to share such huge mental burden that molestation or sexual harassment is. So limit the amount of time that you scold your children. Try to talk to them, and yes, don't raise your voice a lot of times. Try to be what's contained in your emotions so that you don't keep your children away from you. And there's something else. You know how you link children in conversations that pairs them as couples. You know, like my son is cute, your daughter is beautiful, and so these two, they are going to be husband and wife in the future, and you're saying this in the presence of the children. Stop it. They're not old enough to have such conversations. They're not old enough to be involved in such conversations. Marriage is for adults. Keep children out of issues that concern adults. They seem like they're harmless. But by the time, what happens in marriage? There is sex, there is cuddling, there is kissing, there are all these things. So don't involve. If you want to have these conversations, yes, you can have it to a side where the children aren't, and say, I really like for us to be in-laws, but don't have these conversations in the presence of children. And then how about mixed bathing? Mixed bathing for children. Boys and girls in your home bathing at the same time, and you think they are children. Stop it. Stop it. Start at that moment, at that point that they are children, to actually practice this privacy that we're trying so much to teach our children, that our body parts are private. Start from when they are children. It doesn't matter how young they are. So long as they are boys and girls, they shouldn't bathe together. And you know this thing about the bath time starting from the room, like for people who don't have their bathrooms within the bedroom, so you have the bathrooms outside, then the bath time starts from the bedroom. They take off their clothes and walk naked out of the bedroom into the bathroom. No, it should stop. Bath time for your children, boys and girls, should start and end inside the bathroom. They take off their clothes in the bathroom and have their bath. If they're going to walk out of the bathroom, make sure you get them towels to wrap themselves up, to walk from the bathroom to the bedroom. So don't let a child who is going to have a bath just walk out like that and naked, whether it's, and you say they're siblings. Stop it. And then if you can, this one is a tricky one, if you can have separate rooms for your sons and daughters. If you can. There are situations where it's not possible, it's not economically viable to have separate rooms for your children. But if you can, that is a good thing to do. And then you also have parents. Now, these are for the parents. Parents dressing inappropriately at home. You have the fathers wearing boxers around the house, dangling their penis. It peeps out now and again, or the mothers tying a wrapper across their chests, and then maybe say they are cooking in the kitchen and the wrapper goes loose, they open it up and adjust. You're trying to teach the children that parts of their body are private and shouldn't be touched or shouldn't be exposed to people, but you're not setting the example. Why would you wear boxers around the house, Dad? Because that's like you're wearing your panties around the house. That's what it is. They are your briefs. So wear your trousers and wear a shirt. Don't walk around the house unclad and then you try to tell the children that it is not okay. That's how the next uncle one place is going to wear boxers around your child, and your child will think Daddy wears that, so that is okay. Meanwhile, that's a sex predator. So don't do this. And then the woman around your son or even your daughter tying a wrapper, and then maybe she lets it fall, and then then she takes it off and then exposes the child to her nakedness, and does it over and over and over again, and begins to normalize such things. Do not do it. Stop dressing inappropriately in front of your children around the house. If you want to dress inappropriately, send them to grandma and grandpa so that you can have a free reign, and when they are back, then you can pack yourself again. And then something else. You know how you have a 1-year-olds, 2-year-olds around the house, and then you think the weather is hot and they are dressed in their panties or nothing and running around the whole place? Stop it. Stop it. Now, let's say you have a 1-year-old that you're having run around with pampers around the house, and then you have an 8-year-old that you're trying to teach. Your body's private. You can't have two standards all at once in one space. Don't confuse the children. don't. Try and separate these things. And then, okay, say when you have another thing is this: you have an adult who wants to spend a lot of time with your child. That should that should get you your antennas attentive. Don't have your children spend a lot of time with a particular adult. You need to find out why. Even children spending a lot of time with a certain group of children, you need to find out what they do when they spend time with these children. What forms their play? You need to check. If you can't check, then limit it. Don't make it ever so often. These are things that we do that expose children, I beg your pardon, that could expose children to sexual harassment and sex predators. And then one more thing, not one more actually, another thing, asking children to hug adults or hug people in greeting. I think I mentioned this in one of the videos and series I had done earlier. Asking children to hug in greeting, it is not necessary. It's like bow of the head, a handshake. That is good enough. They do not have to hug to greet. I mean, these things might seem like paranoia, but right now it is actually better to be paranoid than to have your children exposed to sexual harassment without you being aware. Then there is something that is very important. You know, your sixth sense. Never ever disregard your sixth sense. If you stop doing it, you feel uncomfortable and uneasy in a particular person's company, or something about that person rubs you quite the wrong way, and then you say, okay, well, I don't know, I just feel funny around this person, but it's probably nothing. No, it's not probably nothing. It is something. And if you feel funny about this person, you need to ensure that your children do not stay in this person's company unsupervised. Yes, that's the word, unsupervised. Do not. This sixth sense is a gift, and you need to pay attention to it all the time. Don't do it. I did it in the past, and then something went wrong. I and a group of friends, for want of time, I might not be able to tell you that story, but just suffice it to say that I had a premonition that this person was kind of funny, and I didn't do anything about it. And fast forward, I started getting funny reports from my son's school that he was being exposed to inappropriate adult content. And my mind went to this person and two other of my friends who were in my son's life at the time that served like mothers to him. When I told them, their minds went to this same person. So if you feel funny about someone, there is probably something funny about that person. So pay it attention. There are really a lot of things that we do, that expose our children. Let me tell you about some signs that you need to watch out for in your children that shows you a probability that this child is being sexually molested or being exposed to a sex predator. Okay, so for instance, if there is a sudden disrespect by your child of someone that you suddenly start to notice, this is especially true for girls, you notice, and towards the opposite sex, you suddenly notice that your daughter is being especially disrespectful to a man. You need to check what's going on. I mean, that there's a level of exposure that would warrant a girl child, a teenage girl child, to become suddenly disrespectful to a man. You need to check it. Now, if there's a sudden fear or discomfort of your child around a person, you need to check what's going on. especially if she begins to feel shyness. Yes, you have to check it. If it suddenly starts to happen, it's a red flag. And then if there is this sudden body and privacy consciousness of your child, suddenly, yeah, as children grow, yes, they become more and more aware and conscious of themselves. But if there is this it suddenly starts and it is really intense, you need to check. It's probably a sign that something wrong might be going on. And then if your child is having nightmares, nightmares that might probably come with whimpers and it's persistent, there's probably something troubling this child mentally. A child who is um, um, playful and exuberant and really agile and suddenly becomes withdrawn, that's a red flag. You should check it. And then if a child becomes unusually aggressive, especially when it comes to people being in their space or people happening upon them when they are dressing up or having a bath, a child who becomes unusually aggressive, like, or people touch them unintentionally, you should check. These are some signs that you should check to ensure that probably would be a flag to tell you that a child is experiencing something inappropriate. Okay, so I really had to, fast on this because it's really a lot. But I felt that these are things that you should look out for, and I hope that most of these things are things that if they are happening in your home, you have them corrected and checked right now. Alright, I am still Omelogo Nnadi, and I like to be called the children nurturer. I hope you were able to get a lot from this video. These are things that I felt were very necessary to bring your attention to our parents to ensure that they aren't exposing their children by doing things that they consider harmless but which are quite harmful and could expose the children. And I hope that you're able to plug one or two of these things in your homes. I'm still Omelogo Nnadi once again, and I like to be called the children nurturer. This is a weekly series and it comes to you on Instagram and Facebook, and then recently on YouTube. Do keep a date with me next Tuesday. See you. Bye.